Yo, what is going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys Week 9 of the ICBA. Yes, we are now closing in the final 2 weeks of the season, Week 9 and Week 10 left, and then we'll be having playoffs. I should be releasing a playoff picture out on the ICBA channel, hopefully this Friday, as fans want to know where the standings are for Week 9, what teams have to do in order to clinch playoffs. We have already clinched playoffs, although. So these next couple weeks, one are to finish off strong. I want to finish off with one of the top 3 records in the league, but we have already clinched a playoff spot for this season. So today, what we have against Jacob is kind of just a test team, potentially to scout what he might bring in the playoffs. Now, we have a couple just interesting fun sets that I do have. Stuff like Fight EMZ, Power Up Punch Greninja, Spadef Steelix, kind of just your normal sand or hail sweeping team, because he does have that sand that I might want to keep an eye on to see if that's potentially in the future that I might see going against me. So he's actually just going to straight up lead off with the Tornadus. Now, this is something I will have to scout for the future, is how he does play around this Tornadus. And in fact, he was actually a Scarfed Tornadus, so that is something that I know I wrote down for a potential future matchup. But here, there's no reason for me to really take a hit or deal with anything, so I just go straight out to my Alolan Muck. Now, the thing with my Alolan Muck is it gives a free invitation to Gigalith and Excadrill. So that is something that I know I will have to plan out. He does go out into Gigalith. In fact, he did have the wrong ability on this Gigalith. It should have been Sandstream instead. But we go out to my Rotom Mo, and it's a Pokemon not really seen much this season, but it actually has a great matchup versus him. Now, there's some things I do have to watch out for with Rotom. Stuff like his Mega Latios. He also has potential for X-Scissor or Excadrill. So there's a lot that he can actually do to my Rotom. But the rocks are what I'm keeping an eye on here. Seeing as he does have a Gigalith and it can get up rocks fairly easily, I know I'm going to need to bring hazard removal versus him potentially if I do get rematched against him in the playoffs. Here he's going to Mega Evolve into Latios. I actually ended up going for the Pursuit here, as he's going to show Earthquake Latios, which now there's 2 things I've already written down for this potential playoff matchup, is a physical Latios, physical Mega Latios, and also a Sand team. Those are things that I do need to keep an eye on and just keep in my memory for when I do play him potentially. Muck's going to go for the knockoff. We're going to get the Poison Touch. Something Muck is just very good at this season is getting that Poison Touch. Did not go for the Pursuit there. Instead, I end up going for the Hard Switch and going right out to my Rotom, which, you know what, is actually good. I could have gone for the Pursuit there just to pick off the Latios, but I feel like this will work. Now, I do have Will-O-Wisp on this Rotom, and Will-O-Wisp is actually very good because I can burn the Gigalith, I can burn the Excadrill. Again, I could have burned the Latios potentially. So there's a lot of physical attackers on his team that, you know what, being burned actually is pretty useful. As you see, Rotom's able to take that Stone Edge and pretty much make it to where it did like 15%. So having that burn capability just off Will-O-Wisp, very good. Now we're weakening the Gigalith. Here he makes a very good play. He goes out to his Umbreon, predicting the Leaf Storm. And kind of wish I actually Volt Switched this turn, simply because it would have put me in a good spot. I could have gone out to a different Pokemon, but this is a Pokemon I really have to find something to play around, because I have nothing for an Umbreon. I don't have that powerful fighting type on the team that can really force it out. I have Alolan Ninetales, but the problem with Alolan Ninetales is he has the Tapu Fini, he has a Gigalith and Excadrill that can force me out. So here he's going to show the Heal Bell. So, Latios no longer poisoned, Gigalith no longer burned. Now, I played really poorly with Steelix this match, and I'm going to go fire off a Toxic here. Oh, sorry there. Coughing attack. I fire off a Toxic against the Tapu Fini, completely forgetting about the Mystic terrain or Misty terrain. So, it's just showing I've played around this Tapu Fini really poorly so far. Now he's a Calm Mind variant, so I was really unsure prep-wise what Pokemon he would bring and what he would bring on those sets, and I'm seeing this Calm Mind Tapu Fini now as a serious threat to me because I have nothing for it. He's going to fire off an Ice Beam, and that will almost take out my Rotom. I do get frozen as I just go for the Volt Switch. So I think there's some speed creeping I can do potentially. I'm not sure, but once I saw this Tapu Fini come in, I'm like, I have nothing for this thing. If this thing sets up potentially another Calm Mind, and it might have potentially Z Haze, I believe, to restore its HP to full, then I'm in serious trouble. We do see the leftovers there. So I'm good to go against Tapu Fini. I do have Freeze Drive on this Alolan Ninetales. I am Choice Scarfed. Now, I'm really starting to double think that move, if Choice Scarf is actually necessary on this Alolan Ninetales. Because I feel like there's really nothing I needed to outspeed. Here at this point, the rocks are up. I have zero way to get rid of the rocks. I do not have Rapid Spin on Alolan Sandslash. So now, pretty much I just have to stay in and click Freeze Dry again. Versus whatever comes in. And since Gigalith did end up coming in, I'm able to click Freeze Dry twice, although it's going to end up doing nothing. But with the Hail, it does put it in range of me being able to pick it off with something else on my team. As we're just going to end up sacking Alolan Ninetales here, as he just goes for the simple Earthquake. My ground resists are Rotom Mow, which ends up dying to Stealth Rocks. So you guys are just seeing the culmination of bad plays here. Here I just go out to Alolan Sandslash. I'm like, you know what? I can just go into this thing and see what I can potentially kill. I just go for Iron Head. I don't want to risk him going for Earthquake and killing me on me setting up for a Swords Dance, so it's better off if I just get rid of him now. So the Hail's gone. He goes out to Excadrill. I have no Ground Switch. I could have potentially sacked off my Rotom Mow here to the Stealth Rocks, which in hindsight now is probably should have been the play, but I don't have Hail up anymore, so Alolan Sandslash isn't outspeeding much. It was just unfortunate I got a kill there. We do see the Life Orb on the Excadrill, showing that maybe he was different type of Gigalith with a Choice Scarf Mold Breaker. So the Life Orb's important there. As we go out to our Greninja, and looks like he's just going to sack off Latios here. I just go for the Water Shuriken. The Water Shuriken is kind of just been a staple for Greninja the last few weeks, just to pressure out a lot of my opponent's Pokemon. We saw it last week against Lars, being able to pressure out Blaziken and Diggersby, this time with Excadrill. As Greninja will just go for the Dark Pulse and be able to take out the Latios. So Greninja being able to pick up a kill here, finally being able to pick up a kill this game. As he goes hard into Tornadus, and at the time, I wasn't thinking Choice Scarf. I was like, well, I can just Ice Beam and be good to go, but instead he shows Choice Scarf. So now I'm seeing the extra bulk that I had on my Greninja actually really come through. Here he's just going to go hard Umbreon. He's going to take the Ice Beam. And now we're in a decent spot to where I can show off my Z move. We'll be going for the all-out pummeling here. Just a Z power-up punch, and it was just something to test on Greninja. to see, you know what, does this actually work versus Umbreon? Because I don't have much for an Umbreon. Now, the only downside is I wish I kind of saved this for the playoff match. That's honestly what I really think, is that if I saved this for the playoff match, it would have been much better. But you know what? It was just a test to see if certain things work this game. As Greninja does take out the Umbreon, so we are now sitting, I believe, tied 4-4. So we're a great spot now, other than this darn Tornadus. That is the biggest issue surrounding my team. Seeing that this is a Choice Scarf Tornadus now leads me to really struggling, because Muck's going to die to Stealth Rock, Rotom Mo is going to die to Stealth Rock. So I don't have much for anything. Again, one, Stealth Rocks would have been nice to just wear down the Tornadus a little bit. Yes, it does have a Regenerator, but just being able to wear it down would have been nice. Here he's going to go Tapu Fini as I click Toxic again. Again, it's just not going through my mind about the Misty Terrain thing. When I could have Stealth Rocks up, and this Tapu Fini could be weaker than what it actually is. So it's difficult to try to figure out how to play around with certain Steelix sets because I need Toxic to wear down that Tornadus. The issue is he has that Misty Terrain to deal with that. Here he's just going to go for the Surface. I'm just going to go for the Iron Head here. It was pretty much my only play I could make. And at this point, Tapu Fini is actually just going to clean up the game because Rotom will fall to those Stealth Rocks, and Greninja doesn't really have anything for the Tapu Fini unless I potentially get a Dark Pulse Flinch into maybe him missing a Heat Wave, which is highly doubtful because he can just click U-turn. So here we just go out to my Greninja, and I'm just going to click Dark Pulse here. Maybe pray to get a flinch just to make it a 2-0 game instead of a 3-0. But Greninja's going to transform to that Dark type and not get the flinch against the Tapu Fini. And we will take a 3-0 loss to the Green Bay Pikachus. And a loss, you know what, I'm not really upset about. I mean, I can't really bring all the bells and whistles against him this game when I have a potential playoff match that I'm having to play against him in 2 or 3 weeks. So there's no reason to really show every aspect of what I want to bring against him, especially with that playoff matchup in the future. So I did get some ideas down of what he does with his team. I have an idea of what 6 actually really work. Now again, he could switch these up because we know we might play each other again. So he can switch things up, but there's a couple things that I did see that I do know I have to prep for. Some things I didn't prep for, like that Scarf Tornadus, the Calm Mind, Tapu Fini, and just stuff I know I have to play better around. That's what this game actually does. It's kind of like a humbling loss because we've been on a pretty good roll these last few weeks. So this is kind of just like a humbling, let's get back down to earth and see where I can improve upon for the next game I do play against Jacob. But with all that being said, guys, if you guys enjoyed this battle, go ahead and leave a like down on the video. Comment your guys' support for the Oregon Duckletts. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more Pokemon Wi-Fi battling. Whether it's just regular ladder Wi-Fi battles or maybe even more league battles, let me know down in the comments section below. But with all that being said, guys, I am Johnny GB, and I'm out.